Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Nyatirimu. Our team is Harmony. Today, the motion for this debate is paper-based exam should be banned. We strongly agree this motion. Paper-based exam. Firstly, I would like to our team define paper-based exam. Paper-based exam is offered on a single day to all candidates. Candidates are required to bring pens, pencil, eraser, and sharpener with them. Whether at the question paper and answer sheet will be provided at the test center. In doing paper-based exam, the exam take requires to answer the question with their handwriting. And also we define ban. What is ban? Ban is officially prohibited. So, our team line for this motion is Myanmar higher education will be free from corruption and students will be able to follow with the STEM global education structure independently and compete with international university. Our team would like to press our intention to paper-based exam ban at the higher educational level. And also, we have come up with 10-year education, 10-year action plan. Firstly, we will propose the higher education law amendments to the parliament. We will take 2 or 3 to pass the law. The implementation process and action will start to happen after the law has passed. Within 10 years, the higher education system of Myanmar will start to changes that is compatible to STEM international education system. STEM refers to S is science, T is technology, E is engineering, and M is mathematics. So our team had 3 strong arguments. So argument 1 is paper-based exam encourage corruption. Heavy paper-based exam directly and indirectly encourage corruption. One heavy exam is required preparation of exam questions before the exam time, and most often this process is done by the teachers and staff or the educational institutions. The questions for the exam are given to the staff as 1 week before the exam for them to print out and prepare for everything for the exam. Most of the time, questions are out before the exam, which is less likely to happen when you use others exam system but paper-based exam. So according to what university knew, in Cambodia University, students spend at least $5 to buy 1 question sheet for their exam. It began normal for the people to write the protest or anyone who are in chat or exam question and buy the question sheets in every exam. They even passed the law to take action on corruption, but since the law enforcement is very weak, they still cannot tackle the corruption issue. So by banning the paper-based exam, we will be free from corruption and will be able to produce honorable citizens with high dignity. Argument 2 is the paper-based exam do not want new normal lifestyle. The historic COVID-19 outbreak shows the way how the world has been running and change the operation style of every sector, including the education sector. COVID-19 made the closure of the school at every level and almost 3 years and delay the learning process of the student. However, since education can't wait, we have to think alternative way to apply education. It encourages the world to familiar with technology and use online-based learning in education. So, according to the research done by Nobel Benson, over 98% of the universities around the world agree to have online exam and support that it is the best resolution to update education in new normal education. It shows that paper-based exam were impossible to be held over the past 2 years and 3 years. We can know what we will be able to have paper-based exam against. If you are sticking with paper-based exam, you will have to wait infinity to sit your exam. So for the argument 3, paper-based exam are weak in critical thinking and creativity and do not keep up with the global education system. So the second speaker will continue and according to this argument, our team strongly agree this motion, this paper-based exam should be banned.
Okay, thanks for your meeting speech, and so this time for a negative sign, so you have voting to this.
Good afternoon. So the first question for you is, as you mentioned, for the critical thinking. So how paper-based system work weak in critical thinking?
Yes, paper-based isn't weak in critical thinking because according to the he mentioned is 10%. When we read, we remember 10%, and when we hear, we remember 20%, and when we see 30%, we get, and when we see and hear is 50%, and when we say 70%, and when we do is 90%. So in here, paper-based exam, when we answer, our team already mentioned is handwriting, yeah, right? So it's just only writing. It's writing. So writing I'm sure it's not good in critical thinking.
So another question for you, you mean about the technology. So how about for the developing country that they are not accessible for the technology? They are still far away from the technology.
Can you ask again?
How about for the developing country? Because you mean like about the technology. So
yeah.
About the other the developing country that they are not accessible for the technology.
Yes. So I want to say, in our Myanmar also developing country. Yeah. In our Myanmar, our team result is 73.66 million people can use the mobile phone. So we can, if we use the mobile phone and we can access the internet. So now we are also developing and we can use in technology.
So then it's like it's so easy to find the data, and also don't you think that the student will change in the exam?
Can I ask again?
As you mean for the computer, so the student can cheat.
Yes, so I didn't mention about computer. I just only mentioned online Yeah, so can you ask again?
Yeah, just the same, even put it online. So that's, don't you think that the student can cheat for the exam, for the answer? So it's easy to find the answer on the, like, as you mentioned, based on the technology.
Yeah, it's easy.
Yeah, then a student, all the student will cheat for the exams. So it's not their really abilities. Yeah. So it's not based on their own abilities when they listen. So that's not the answer that came from their own minds.
Yes, I'm not clear your question, so I can answer it.
As you mentioned about the technology, so a student can easily access the answer by searching on the internet.
Yeah, they can answer.
Yeah, so the student can cheat for the answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and dear judges and dear audience. So I am the first speaker from negative side. So today I would like to disagree with this motion that paper-based exam should be banned. So instead of paper-based exam, oral exam should be an alternative. So before I jump into the detail, let me define what is paper-based exam. So paper-based examination are a common way to examine students' knowledge and abilities of subjects at school in all over the world. So, firstly, in paper-based exam, we can assess critical thinking and understanding, because in school we are not saying that education doesn't mean we are just testing and memorizing. So according to University of Cambridge local examination candidate, and so I would like to say that we should provide more paper-based exam in order to be confident in studying. And another thing is that another argument is that in paper-based exam we can assess critical thinking skills, which is the most useful skill in 21st century. And according to the voice written by Julian Hofer, and he mentioned that the problem with closed book exam is that they instilled a sense of panic into the student, and closed book exams do not help a student who has a fear of exams. And another argument is that in paper-based exam, it promotes students test high score. And in Ohio State University, according to their survey, they said the student performed well on paper-based exams. It's about 80% of the student paper-based exam, while the rest are neither. And according to Steve Graham, professor of leadership and innovation, Arizona State University, they said method of testing making a difference in the following ways. If students are not adept at taking tests on a computer, they score higher on the same paper and pass the test. And another argument that I would like to say is that paper-based exams are easily and accessible and favors for the majority. Because nowadays, as we can see, most of the country are underdeveloped, and not all children are privileged enough to have access to other types of exam. For example, computer-based exam. So if you compare to to paper sheet, so they are much more expensive. And I would like to refuse the first speaker from affirmative side. They said, so in Cambodia University, so students have to buy paper sheet with $5. So actually, so if we compare to computer-based exam and the other-based exam, so it is not a big deal. So for the computer exam, not everyone can buy computer to have exam. So that is why I would like to say that paper-based exam is much more good than computer exam or other exam. And another argument that I would like to say is that so paper-based exam can prevent our health and also animals. For example, so if we have computer-based exam, so and phone and other electricity, so they can release electromagnetic waves, which can harm human memory and also the animals, such as birds and other animals. Because this electromagnetic wave is tiny and we can see it, and it also reduces the population of animals and damage our memory. So, according to National Cancer Institute in United States, so handheld phones are used to head and because of ionizing radiation, and also the mobile phone screens are lead to electromagnetic wave radiations, and also caused brain cancers and related to with nerves and about 70%. So to say to set up our timeline, we will say that so paper-based exam is more confident and good than other based exam, because so it can reduce our mental health and brain and also the life of animal, and we can accept knowledge and critical thinking. So finally, I would like to disagree with this motion again. So paper-based exam disagree with this motion. Paper-based exam should not be banned. Thank you.
So our opponent team said we can assess critical thinking by using the paper exam. So how do we can get the critical thinking in paper exam?
So as we know, in all around the world, we are still practicing this paper-based exam. So during exam, paper-based exam is not just about testing or memorizing. We are studying to have critical thinking by reading books or studying our lesson through lesson.
Okay, so and also our opponent team said, and on the wall, most of the country are developing country and they are not undeveloped. So, we mentioned that we can use the other examination style in the higher level, higher education. So, cannot we use in the developing country also the other education style?
Your question?
Yeah, except paper-based exam.
So as we can see, most people is still practicing this paper-based exam.
So why they practicing the paper-based exam?
Because it is good and it should not be banned.
So in which place good?
So, for example, when we have paper-based exam, we just answer on the paper, not on computer, and it doesn't harm our health. And
yeah.
And also,
so you said it. Thank you. So it can help it can damage on our health and also in screen. So in this, most of the mobile phone and the computer or laptop we can use in setting to protect the eye from the sky for the screen. So for those, how do you think?
So no matter how you do like that, but still, in computer and mobile phone, they always release the electromagnetic wave, which cannot be seen with our eyes. So they harm our brains and our memory.
So
and even animals.
Yeah. So how many % of the animal numbers or the animal are affected because of the radiation?
About 80%.
About 80% because of
negative wave.
Micronegative wave.
Yeah. Electromagnetic wave.
Electromagnetic wave.
Yeah.
So in this, we can know in electromagnetic wave, it cannot come out with just only from phone. Some of the some of the industry from this we can get it.
No, mostly it is just released from computer and phone, not from industry.
Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Idijan and I'm the second speaker of Perverted Side. The motion that we are making debate is paper-based exam should be banned. I will change strongly with the motion. Before I come out with a new argument, I would like to make an argument to the opponent team. The opponent team said by paper-based exam can get quicker thinking. Okay, before I answer, I would like to ask to this audience: when you answer the paper-based exam, are you focusing on the critical thinking or are you focusing on the getting high mark? We can know that most of the students they are answer the paper-based exam, they are focusing on the getting high mark. They are not focused on the critical thinking. And also, the opponent team mentioned that by reading book we can get more information. Okay, let's think back to the other. We can get more information than the reading book. Our first speaker already explained about the argument. Argument one is paper-based exam encourage corruption. Our first speaker explained how paper-based exam make people to correct in many ways. I would like to provide a strong evidence that happened in Myanmar. Okay, according to the result finding of the last week on Myanmar education system, over 80% of Myanmar students admit that they brave their teachers and staff of the university to buy the exam question, because when the exam questions are submitted by their respective professors, and they are the ones who know the question because they have to prepare the question paper before the exam. I believe that this kind of situations are not strange, and we are very much familiar with it for who are good in Myanmar education system, because we often experience our friends say to write the study for exam question. In our student life, students usually go to the teacher to get the exam question or to change their grades. As the first speaker already mentioned that paper-based exam encourage correction both direct way and also indirect way. We have found that paper-based exam make the student to consider to buy their question and change the result because of their academic bonus. According to the survey done as students from United States on student willingness to write their proposals for exam. 49.6% of the students responded they do write their proposals, are willing to give money to buy exam questions and change the grade because these are part of the questions and SLC when they have lower grade. For the second argument is the paper-based exam do not work on new knowledge lifestyle. According to PED research culture, over 90% of students from the US learn how to take online exams and they become very much familiar with online exams over the time. They mentioned that they are very much happy to resume their education online because if there is no online exam, they will not be able to go for another level and they will be stuck at the same level. And for the our team already mentioned about the argument 3, but she don't have time to explain it, but I will continue for argument 3. Our argument 3 is the paper-based exams are weak in critical thinking, creativity, and do not keep up with global STEM education system. The one we are living right now is driven by technologies and the students are to keep up with the technology. According to U.S. Education Department of Research, the one need to write to STEM education system that encourage critical thinking and creativity of the student. STEM means research shows that the world top university, namely Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Oxford University, Stanford University, Harvard University, and California University are institutes of university after university because they follow the STEM education. They follow the STEM education system. Nowadays, the universities around the world are trying to follow that structure, including Myanmar. However, STEM cannot be determined the quality of the student scale by doing paper-based exam. That's why we need to ban the paper-based exam systems and encourage STEM education system to encourage critical thinking and creativity of the student. By doing that, the higher education system of Myanmar will surely be comparable with education system. By seeing that strong evidence and strong argument, our team strongly agree the motion that paper-based exams should be banned.
So paper-based exam is not a new lifestyle that we use.
Yeah.
So why people around the world are still practicing this paper-based exam in their school or in university?
We already mentioned, our team already mentioned that they are making a plan to change it.
So by saying that, so how many countries have you seen that they already changed the other based exam?
Okay. Before I answer the question, I will tell about the countries that are changing. They ban the paper-based exam. Do you know that Finland country? The country is they already banned the paper-based exams. Yeah.
So I also have already researched that actually they are not banning the paper-based exam. Actually, they ban all the exam. There is no exam in Finland.
Paper-based exam is also even it is how can I say? Even paper-based exam is included in exam, but may I know that we can know about the quality of student? How can we know that about the quality of student? Before, without exam, how can we know?
Sorry, I have a question. Another question is that so paper-based exams should be banned and it's not good. So even in IELTS, so we still practice and use this paper-based exam. So why do you think people are still doing that?
There are two ways that we can answer the IELTS. Of course. And even there are two ways that we can answer paper-based exam online-based exam for IELTS. Let's think about it. Which way that we need more time when we make an IELTS exam?
So, in emergency, if there is no any electricity, how can you use computer-based exam?
We are not mentioning about computer-based about the paper-based exam. We are not mentioning the countries that they have electricity should must have to be computer-based exam. We are not talking about that. We are talking about paper-based exam.
Gentlemen and our honorable judges and my opponent team and my teammates. So I'm the second speaker from the negative side. We strongly agree that paper-based exam should be banned. So firstly, I would like to refuse to the opponent teams. The first speaker and the second speaker, they mentioned that the first argument is paper-based exam encourages correction. So they mentioned in paper-based exam, students might question sheet in order to cheat, and in order so they give money to their teachers, so they encourage correction. So it can be any other exam. So even though we use technology, students can also bind question and make correction from their teachers, and also most of all in technology exam, the student will lead to like cheating in technology. Is it easy to find, like my first speaker mentioned, find data and to commit plagiarism? Yes, so I want to refuse this one. And also the second argument is they mentioned paper-based exam do not work on normal lifetime. Actually, paper-based exam work very well in normal lifetime. Paper-based exam provides like accurate information when it is come to the important and emergency situation. Because you just see paper-based exam like you need to summarize and you need to memorize all the things. So this is also we use open book exam in order like paper-based exam. And the third argument is they mentioned paper-based exam work quick in like critical thinking. So most of the time students need to think critically. Paper-based exam they provide like not only critical question and also accurate information in order to answer. So in paper-based exam, students don't need to rely on any data and any technology. So they just need their own brain, So it can provide more student critical thinking. Yes, and also I would like to support my first speaker. Firstly, he claimed that paper-based exam provides student assessing, thinking, and understanding. So it helps students to know their weakness and strengths. And also, it also helps teachers to get the feedback of the student progress on how he or she going to improve their student awareness by assessing with paper-based exam. And like my first speaker mentioned, like Ohio State University, most of the students they prefer paper-based exam, and also students can perform well more than 4% than any other exam style, and also 86% of students prefer paper-based exam, while the rest percent are needed. And also, like my first speaker mentioned, like paper-based exam are easily accessible and favored to majority. So we are living in a developing country. It is not easy to access like technology, internet, and any other accessibility that relate to the technology. So when we use paper-based exam, all the students and also the developing country, they can easily access and they can answer well. So to show my evidence, so according to the SDG, the core of their SDG is no one left behind. So if we want to get equality, we need to use paper-based exam. And also, I would like to support that argument that my first speaker mentioned. Hair is seriously damaged for animal and human. Like he mentioned before, from technology, there's a lot of electromagnetic radiation that can harm our environment, not only human but also an animal. So it affects on wildlife and affects on animal. So the electromagnetic can cause brain cancer and relate with nervous about 17%. So I really disagree with paper-based exam should be banned. So that is all for me. Thank you.
So, your team mentioned that technology can hack environment.
Yes.
So, how about paper?
So, paper also can cause bad environment, but I would like to state the new notes. I would like to give you evidence. So, 34 trees. In order to make 1 ton of papers, we need only 24 trees. So 1 ton of paper have 1543235835291 paper sheet. So there's only cost less.
Yes. According to our research, in the PDO, there is in the examination, students use the paper when examination for 7 paper. So it has 6 subjects, so it has they use 42 paper, and so about 10,000 students. It's 420,000 paper. So paper-based exam, we use many paper, right? So it can hack our environment, right?
Like I mentioned before, it can harm, but technology harm more because of the electromagnetic can also cause our environment. If you live near with the, like you may see.
Thank you. So your team mentioned students prepare the paper-based exam, right? So we can say, how do you think something is we prefer is good? How do you think?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so your team mentions students prepare paper-based exam.
Yes.
So can we say if we prepare is good for us?
Yes, if you prefer something you can do better in that thing.
So, and I want to know is in our Myanmar, most of the students are suicide by they lose their paper-based exam in maybe grade 11 examination. So if
Sorry, thanks, Ab.
oh sorry, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the dance speaker of affirmative side. Our team is Harmony, and today our debate team is paper-based exam should be banned. Sorry. From the opponent team, they said it can be any other exam. I have that sentence from our opponent team. In this, we can guess it that it can be any other exam. So why we can't ban the paper-based exam? We can think about it. And from our opponent team, they always say that provide critical thinking and provide critical thinking, and we haven't had any evidence from this. And also, our opponent team mentioned about that it can provide critical thinking and by using their own brain in paper-based exam. So how about the other exam like maybe the computer-based exam, right? From our teams, our team line is that Myanmar's higher education will be free, corruption, and students will be able to follow with the STEM global educational strategy independently and compete with international universities. So, and also from our team, we mentioned that paper-based exam encourage corruption. And also from our team, they show that with the evidence of over 80% of Myanmar students admitted they bribed their teachers instead of the university. Is that we can think about it. Is the disadvantages of the paper-based exam. That's why we should be banned. We should ban the paper-based exam. And also from our opponent team mentioned that paper-based exam, by making the paper-based exam, it can be get the confidence. So in this, how about in other exam like that? I'll mention it computer-based exam. And also from the opponent's team, they mentioned it undeveloped. Undeveloped country is not major. Is famous for the majority. For the majority, is the paper-based exam is, and especially, and we mentioned it with the percentage of the internet users and the mobile user. internet users and mobile users in Myanmar. So by seeing this point, we can see it, we can change it the paper-based exam, and we can ban it the paper-based exam. And also from our opponent team mentioned that it's not a new thing. The paper-based exam is traditional way. So we can think about it, what kind of traditional way are good in that, especially just only in maybe the culture or the other thing. But we are going in the 21st century, so we have to follow the world, right? So that's why even though it doesn't matter in new or old. So if we are not good, if we should upgrade, we have to upgrade it. That's why we don't agree. It's not a new thing. Is that good or bad in this? And also they mentioned that there's no have any exam in Finland, so we can see there's no any exams in Finland. So that's why we can ban the paper-based exam, because they mentioned that there's no have any exam in Finland. And we believe our opponent teams would like to follow with the wall. They don't really like to follow with the wall, because they just mentioned the traditional way is a student with more people, they are living in the traditional way. That's why people make exam. And as this program, we have to follow with the wall in this technology age. That's why we have to upgrade the education system by following the word and by banning paper-based exam. That's why our team strongly agree paper-based exam should be banned.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. So, I'm the third speaker from the negative teams. So firstly, I want to argue with the first speaker from the positive team. She mentioned that in paper-based exam, we need pencils and paper sheets. So that just costs a lot, she said like that. But actually, if we compare to in technologies that the third speaker from the positive team, they mentioned that by computer or phone. So if we compare to the cost of the computer and then the paper, which one is more highest? So you have to consider about these two. So by pencil and paper is not cost that much. Yeah. And also our first speaker already mentioned that we should ban the oral exam, not the paper-based exams. Yeah. Another thing is like the first speaker from the positive team, she mentioned like students get more stress. Also like it costs more to print out the paper. Actually, this is not just only about the paper-based exam that can cause the student to be more stressed or depression. And any kind of exam can be like this too. Yeah, not only paper-based exam. Yeah. And another thing is she mentioned like to buy a paper-based exam, it costs about $5 to buy this. Also, like online exam, also we have to buy too. Nothing like really free for the everything is not free. So it's also cost too. Another thing, like I was to suppose, like our first speaker already mentioned that 86% students prefer the paper-based exam, and this exam can really check that the ability of the students rather than the computer exam or mobile exam, as the third speaker from the positive team mentioned. In computers and also like a mobile phone exam. So this we can, for this one, the student can cheat for the exam. Yeah, and like our second speaker also mentioned that the technology can cause like the brain cancer and also nerves about 70%. So that is more harmful than the paper-based exams, and also it's harmful to our eyes too. Yeah, even like from the positive team, they said that in the technology like computer or phone, they have the like to protect our eyes, but it's not protect something that can cause the brain cancer and also like the nervous. Yeah. Nerves, yeah, and also like the second speaker from the positive thing. She mentioned that in the exam, there's a student are more prefers the technology exam rather than the paper-based exam. If the student take the paper exam, so most of them they stay in the same grade. She mentioned that. So in here we can see clearly that the students are not, they don't have like the abilities to take the exam. So they just only rely to the computers and rely to the technology. So it means like a cheating in the exam. So that's why I want to say that is not. The paper-based exam is more stronger, yeah. And also, like they mentioned, there's encourage the education system. So actually, that is the system. It's not about the exam, the paper-based exam, or like the technology exam. So the education system is different way with this exam. So it's not the same. And ban the exam and ban the paper-based exam is different, yeah. If a ban there, as they mentioned, like if we ban the paper-based exam, so that can improve the like the skills of the student. Actually, this is not. I was arguing with this. So to improve the student's skills, so there's a many ways to improve. So also they can reading. Reading is more better than watching the screen for all the time. Also like now you're also using that too, so you will know more by reading book and like using for which one is more harmful than the others. Yeah. Another one is like the third speaker mentioned about the traditional way. So it's the paper-based exam is the traditional way. He mentioned like that. So this one, it doesn't mean that we have to break every traditional way. So something like about the traditional, that is good. So we also still have to practice about that. Yeah, and paper-based exam can really check like the ability of the student. Yeah, so that's why I want to repeat that our team line. That's our first speaker mentioned. There's paper-based exams are more beneficial dealing with health programs, accessibility, and human rights economics too. So this is like the benefits of using paper-based exam. I will say like this. Yeah. So thank you. This is for all. I'm strongly agree with this.
Debaters, thanks. We're glad to hear, and we love your debating and your clashing, your mentality, and you are enthusiastic on the debate, and you research so many information. So I'm here for the main judge, but we agree with the judges here because they are also the senior judges. So even I'm a main judge, but I have to respect their vote. So how do I say? When I say the win or lose, so because I have to realize their voting system. Okay, So firstly, I would like to invite teacher Mondu for giving feedback to the affirmative side or negative side.
Okay, both teams did really great job. And a pleasure to be here to judge. So I would like to give some feedback to the affirmative team. So as a first speaker, you did good job. So, but you need time management. So this is not your first time. So, but you have to be good in time management. It is really important when you get the debate. So the most important is time management. So that is what I would like to say. I think it is very clearly and you present well. So, and also your voice is so loud. So, and then you have to a little bit reduce on that as well. So that is my feedback. And also for the second affirmative speaker, so you need you did your role, but you still need to be make a refuse. So what are the opponent's team? What is their argument? What is the thing they have said? So a little bit weaken those, but you have to emphasize. So refuse as well as rebuild. As a second speaker role, you have to do those things, and so you have to answer the question. So don't ask the question. So when you are like in the cross question, so like going around and something like that. So those kinds of things you really have to careful on that. We see a lot of clash points in question. So that is really good. So most of the we see most of the audience, they are really like your cross question. So those kinds of things are really good for the book team. So, and then as a second speaker role, you really must refuse, you really must rebuild. So you have to listen from the opponent side as well as from your side as well. So as a third speaker, he has a good analysis skill. So, and then he have to include, conclude. So, and then the other one is like, he has a lot of pause. So, and then please make sure, so when you are presenting, so because audience and judges are listening to you. So at the time when you have a lot of pause, so and then it is a little bit distract. So that's why you have to careful when you are speaking, so to make sure, so to get more smooth when you are presenting. So that is as a gesture. But so you have a good job in your analyzing skill. So as a third speaker, thank you so much. That is my comment for the affirmative team.
Thanks, teacher Mondu, for your giving feedback to the affirmative side. So I would like to invite teacher Situhei for the negative side.
Okay, well, it's so nice to see you again. So we're back this morning. So I think now we are converted to semi-final. Right? I don't need to give too much feedback, but I just wanted that I gave you the feedback this morning. So to put the strong team lines and the impact, but your team didn't bring the feedback. Didn't bring the impact and team very strong team line. So yeah, I just wanted that I was expected from you guys very well. But when I have to share the individual feedback for the affirmative first speaker, negative first speaker, when I listened to your speech, I wondered that you are different from this morning. So this morning you did really great, but here I think you are a little bit nervous because of you on the stage. So I just want to give the feedback. So if you're going to the final, so don't be afraid and don't be nervous. Just focus on your rules. So that is very important. And then bring your team lines and then sorry, I forgot it. Team lines and then what is that? Impact, right. I'm sorry, I forgot it. I always confuse the import and impact. Okay, so for the second speaker, you did your role very well, and then you refused the teams with a very good evidence, and then you support your team. But I just want to hear from you guys that more evidence. But you give the evidence, but that is not enough for your team and also there to refute the negative affirmative things. So next time when you're in the competition, so please bring more evidence. Okay, for the third speaker, I don't have too much for you, but you did really great. So you compared both teams, and then you showed that how they are weak and how their points are not validity and not validities and not good for this motion. So that is really good. You compare with the two topics, and then you suggest you point out the the brain cancer and then brain cancer and their online exam. So when you compare it, that is really good point to see when we decide who is can personally act. Yes, I don't have too much special for you guys. So for the next time, please be strong in your teamwork. So that is very important. Please connect and discuss in your team. Very detailed. Thank you so much.
So I already mentioned that I'm a main judge, but as you know, we have a voting for the senior judges, and they give a vote. Before that, I wanted to congratulate the two persons who are very best in this speaking. Like from the negative side, the last person is very good in speaking, and your pronunciation is very well. And also, I'm really amazing to the second speaker for the affirmative side. I don't know your name, but okay. But honestly, you did really great. You carried your teams, both of you, both of you. And also, in the debate, then what you have to do is think about what is your role. Okay. So my role is like to defend. You have to defend. Okay. My role is attack. You have to attack. My role is to rebel. You have to rebel. You have to carry. My role is to give in evidence. You must give evidence. Okay, this is your role. Okay, for the how can I say the overall since the both sides we can see that which team is more getting teamwork. We need it. Teamwork is very important because debating is not only one person. Even you are the good speaking, you can stand here, but we have other two persons. So we have to connect. We have to keep in touch with our debater, other debater, and try to the best. Even you are three, but you have to go in only one line. So this is very important. Okay. So how do I say? For the first speaker, so I think that you a little bit confused with your rule because of what the affirmative say is you have to defend every argument. So argument, okay? Affirmative speaker has three arguments. You have to defend everything because your role is to attack her with the sentence or with what is her argument and try to revenge. Okay, this is your rule. But what how can I say? The second speaker carry you, and also when you are on the stage, we are watching here. I'm the judges here. Also, there's so many students. Are you younger than? Also, some are older than you. You have to pay respect and think about your manner. So, what happened to your manner here? Okay, like be a humble. Okay, be a good person because you are the role model. You are on the stage. So this is very important, okay? Like two things, so surely one thing goes to the grand final. On the stage that you have to do humble things, like you are the role model. Even we have you are the role model because you are on the stage. You are as a teacher. You are telling something to the student and judges, okay? According to the debate format, according to our group, what we are decide for the result is that Affirmative team is the winner.